During World War I in 1917, Corporals Schofield and Blake find themselves abruptly awakened by a sergeant. They are requested to choose a fellow soldier and report to a superior officer. Without hesitation, Blake selects Schofield, and together they traverse the trenches, contemplating the purpose of their assignment. Blake, driven by the hope of returning home by Christmas, harbors optimistic expectations. Upon reaching General Aaron Moore's quarters, they are entrusted with a critically important mission. Their task involves crossing the territory previously occupied by the Germans, who have strategically retreated. Their objective is to deliver a vital message to Colonel Mackenzie, who is relentlessly pursuing the retreating enemy forces. Aaron Moore reveals that the British troops are falling into a trap orchestrated by the Germans, and a devastating defeat awaits them. It is due to Blake's personal connection, as his brother serves among the troops about to be ambushed, that he has been chosen for this perilous undertaking. Driven by his determination to save his brother, Blake promptly accepts the mission, fully aware of the life-threatening risks it entails. Blake and Schofield waste no time and begin their journey through the intricate network of trenches. Along the way, they encounter Lieutenant Leslie, who receives their orders to proceed. Although Leslie considers the mission to be incredibly risky, he provides them with essential guidance and directions to navigate the former German territory. As a token of survival, he equips them with a flare gun to signal their success if they manage to complete their objective. Moving forward, Blake and Schofield traverse the desolate battlefields, filled with tangled barbed wire, treacherous mud-filled trenches, and haunting scenes of fallen soldiers. During their arduous journey, Schofield's hand becomes ensnared in the sharp wire, causing a severe injury. Despite the pain, Schofield tends to his wound as best he can before they press on relentlessly. Eventually, the duo triumphs over the challenging terrain and reaches the abandoned German trenches, devoid of any signs of life. Inside the underground German barracks, Blake and Schofield are greeted by an eerie emptiness and an infestation of rats. Their cautious exploration is abruptly interrupted when Blake discovers a tripwire. Before they can react, a rat unknowingly triggers the wire, setting off a massive explosion that engulfs them in a cascade of debris. Schofield is buried under the rubble, but Blake manages to revive him and free him from the perilous situation just in time, narrowly escaping the imminent collapse of the barracks. Once they emerge from the wreckage, Schofield confronts Blake, demanding to know why he chose him for this dangerous mission. Blake admits that he believed it was a simple food run and never anticipated the true nature of the mission. In frustration, Schofield fires the flare gun, signaling their survival and progress. Undeterred by their near-death experience, they press onward and come across a tranquil green area. Schofield optimistically suggests that they will likely receive medals for their heroic actions. Blake mentions Schofield's previous lost medal, but Schofield reveals that he intentionally exchanged it for wine, expressing his discontent with leaving the war without closure. As they continue their journey, they stumble upon a picturesque scene of cherry blossoms, reminding Blake of his mother's orchard and the cherries he and his brother used to pick together. As Schofield and Blake continue their journey, they come across an abandoned house in the field, but find it empty. Schofield discovers a crow and a fresh supply of milk, which he fills his canteen with. While exploring their surroundings, they witness an intense dogfight between British and German planes, culminating in the British successfully shooting down the German aircraft. However, the downed plane hurtles towards Schofield and Blake, prompting them to quickly evade its path. They manage to pull the burning German pilot out of the wreckage. Schofield suggests ending the pilot's suffering, but Blake instructs him to fetch water instead. As Schofield does so, the German pilot viciously stabs Blake in the abdomen. In response, Schofield shoots and kills the German, desperately attempting to save Blake's life. However, Blake's condition rapidly deteriorates, and he begins to bleed profusely. In his final moments, Blake implores Schofield to write to his mother, assuring her that he wasn't afraid. Schofield promises to fulfill his request and vows to complete the mission before Blake passes away. Shortly afterward, more British soldiers arrive, including Captain Smith, who informs Schofield that they are passing through and can accompany him part of the way to his destination. Captain Smith advises Schofield not to dwell on the loss of his friend. Schofield rides in the back of a truck with a group of spirited soldiers. When the truck becomes stuck in the mud, Schofield takes the lead in rallying the soldiers to push the vehicle free. Once they continue their journey, Schofield reveals the nature of his mission to them. Eventually, he is dropped off at a river that he must cross to reach his destination, but finds himself under enemy gunfire. Despite the danger, Schofield manages to sprint into the building where the shooter is located. In a fierce exchange of gunfire, both Schofield and the German soldier are hit. Schofield successfully kills the German, but the impact of a bullet striking his helmet renders him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, Schofield finds himself in a burning town illuminated by fires. He navigates through the chaos, evading gunfire as he races through the streets. Seeking refuge, he enters a building and discovers a frightened woman named Lori, who speaks only French. Schofield communicates with her in French, assuring her that he is not German. Lori tends to his wounds and reveals that she is caring for a baby whose parents are unknown to her. Schofield shares some of his milk with the baby, providing nourishment. Despite Lori's pleas for him to stay, Schofield explains that he must continue his mission. Reluctantly, he leaves the safety of the building and returns to the intense firefight, where he must fight, kill, and flee in order to survive. Amidst the hail of bullets, Schofield takes a daring leap off a cliff and plunges into a river, fighting to stay afloat and escape the relentless danger. Eventually, the river subsides and Schofield reaches solid ground, overcome with emotion as he breaks into sobs, perhaps reflecting the toll the harrowing journey has taken on him. Schofield presses on until he hears the sound of singing and discovers a group of soldiers gathered around a fellow soldier who is singing. He joins them and listens for a while before approaching one of the soldiers and asking about the 2nd Battalion. The soldier confirms that they are indeed the 2nd Battalion and informs Schofield that they are following the larger group. Schofield hurriedly makes his way through the trenches, desperately trying to warn them against proceeding with the attack. However, it's too late. The battle has already begun, and the first wave of soldiers is sent forward. Realizing that he must reach Colonel Mackenzie quickly, Schofield decides to veer off from the trenches and run sideways across the active battlefield, a perilous journey that he manages to survive. He eventually returns to the trenches and locates Colonel Mackenzie, who initially dismisses his pleas, firmly believing in their imminent victory over the Germans. Schofield implores the colonel to read the letter, and after doing so, Mackenzie orders his men to stand down. Schofield then visits the medical tents in search of Blake's brother. After a search, he finds him unharmed and breaks the devastating news about Blake's death. Schofield presents him with some of Blake's belongings that he carried with him. Although devastated, Blake's brother composes himself and advises Schofield to get some food for himself. Schofield asks if he can write to their mother, and Blake's brother agrees. Schofield expresses his gratitude, stating that Blake saved his life. They shake hands, and Schofield finds a tree to sit under. He takes out a photo of his wife and children, gazes at it for a moment, and then closes his eyes, perhaps reflecting on the journey and the sacrifices made. And the movie finally ended. What do you think of the movie? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like and support the channel by subscribing, and click the bell icon so that you won't miss our future recaps. And if you have any movie you want us to recap, please do tell us in the comments section as well. And until next time.